I'm Jennifer of Celtic Knot Crochet, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Wonder Knitter by Clover so that you can make this Celtic Knot Coaster. I'm also going to show you how to weave this knot using a diagram that is free, and you'll find the link for that in the description below. So first thing you want to do when you get your Wonder Knitter is open the package. And you'll see that there are a couple pieces. Inside here, you'll find directions, but you won't need those if you watch this video. And then you'll see that there is two pieces here. We have a yellow one that has 6 prongs, and then a pink one that has 3. You may choose to use the 3, but what I discovered is it came out better if I use the 6 prong. So you just gently pop that off and pop in. You can see there are grooves, and you just turn it till it snaps in place. And this is what's neat about this knitter, is that it rotates on its own, so you don't have to twist it in your hand. And once you get the hang of it, it goes very quickly. And then you have this neat tool here, this green hook, and this is what helps you carry the yarn over each of the prongs. The first thing you want to do is put the end of your yarn through the knitter. I'm using size 3 or DK weight cotton yarn. You can also use medium weight, it works well with this. And I'm holding the yarn with my pinky here down at the bottom. That way it's nice and anchored. And then I'm going to use my thumb to kind of control this top prong part. And you want to wrap around each prong. And you're wrapping clockwise, but then you're going to go actually counterclockwise in the direction of what comes next. So as you can see, I'm going around this one, then I'm going to go to this one, and then this one, until they're all wrapped. You see that? Next, I'm going to carry the yarn in front, and I'm rotating the prongs just a little bit so I can use the guide. So I'm going to take the end of the yarn and put it through that guide right there. You see that? And then what I found helps is if I use my hand to hold that yarn so it's nice and taut right here, and then by using this thumb I can rotate, and I'm also using this finger back here, rotate the yellow prongs, and now I have the yarn, the working yarn, going this way. I'm going to use the green hook tool, and I'm going to pull the loop that's on the prong up and over the yarn that's stretching across. I'll move this out of the way. And now I rotate using my thumb. I'm going to turn the prongs, and I'll do the same thing again. Grab the loop that's already on the prongs, lift it up and over, and now I've created another stitch. Rotate the prongs. Here's my working yarn. See that? Put the hook in the loop on the bottom of the prong, and then lift it up and over. And I continue like that until my cord measures the length I want. And because it's clear through here, it's very easy to measure your cord as you're going. So I want to make sure that that loop on the prong is lower than the working yarn so that I can grab it and bring it up and over. And you can see, once you get the hang of it, this goes really quickly. And you don't realize how many you're doing because you go round and round. Now the key, remember, you might have to adjust it periodically. I was holding on with my pinky here at the bottom, so sometimes I stop and rewrap it around my pinky, especially in the beginning. You can see I don't have much there, so you need to have some kind of tension pulling down on the project. As it gets longer and you have more of a cord, you don't have to hold it anymore, or you just pull it occasionally to tighten it up and you're good to go. As you go along with your project, you see that the cord comes out down below, and I would hold it the same way. Hold this with my hand and put my thumb on the top. And after I do a couple rounds, then what I like to do a couple rounds and then I pull down like this. And you can see that's what it looks like from the top. Once you've completed the cord and it's the length that you need per the directions, you're going to end your cord, and let me show you how to do that. You want to first cut the yarn about 7 or 8 inches out so you have plenty of extra room, and then you're going to continue to work with it like you did before, but instead of taking that bottom loop and going over the prong, you're actually going to go through the bottom loop and you're going to grab hold of the yarn tail and pull it through. And then you're going to do that same thing with all of them, all the way around. Grab hold of the yarn tail and pull it through. So I've gone all the way around to all 6 prongs, and now I'm going to carefully slip them off. You can use the same green hook tool. Just carefully slide them off like this. I know it looks a mess right now, but trust me, it'll all cinch up and make a nice point. And then we take that yarn tail and we pull, and that closes up the end of our cord in a nice clean point. And then you just pull it out of the Wonder Knitter, and there you have your cord ready to be woven into the Celtic knot. So I'll show you how to do that next. Now we are ready to weave the Celtic knot. So let's go over the supplies. You will need the Celtic knot diagram, which you will find a link to in the description below. You can print that out at home. You'll also need the cords you just completed according to the directions. It tells you in there how long to make those. You'll also want some straight sewing pins, and I got these great ones from Clover. They're flower pins, and you can see they have a nice flat head that's really easy to grab. They're nice and long and sharp. So you'll need about 15 to 20 of those. And to help with that, I also have this pin and stow wristband. This right here is a magnetic circle that holds the pins really handy for you. And then you just pop it around your wrist like that. And now the pins are handy for you as you work on your project. Of course, this would be great for sewing projects as well. And you can slide this magnetic piece around your wrist so it's at an angle that's convenient. And then you'll also need some jumbo tapestry needles. I love these ones from Clover because they have that bent end, so it's very easy to thread it through your project without having to find where you are. So we'll use those later when we secure the cords. Now that we have all of our supplies, oh, and you'll also need this cork board right here. I'm using, it's about 1/4 of an inch. You can see, not very thick. You can find these at any local craft store. You'll want one that's at least 7 or 8 inches square. This is bigger than that. That would work too. It just happened to come this size. Next, we're going to take our cords and we're going to start them in the specific spots that's labeled for you on the diagram. So if you look here, you see in the center there's a star, and then over here there's a triangle. So the darker green cord is going to go on the green path, and we're going to start at the star. And this is where I use the pins. So I will put the cord right there. Now this funky end here is going to be covered by the other section of the cord, so don't worry about that showing. So I use a pin to hold it in place, and I'm going to follow the arrows around. And wherever I feel like I need to hold it in place, I put a pin. The pins are temporary, but it's like giving us a third hand. I love this pin and stow for my wrist. It's very handy. And I see I'm just passing around, following this arrow right here. Bring it a little closer. And then I can peek at the diagram and see that the green cord is now going over this other green cord. So I want to make sure that I do all these overs and unders accurately, like this. So you see how I'm holding it in place. And now I'm heading to this section, and I'm going to go around this way, and if I peek at the diagram, I can see that the green cord is going to go over again. You notice this cord, this knot, is very simple, but I think it looks really pretty. And now here we are at our last loop. I can see here comes the green path. And of course this white path is going to be woven with this light green cord. So whatever happens right now with that, we don't need to worry about. We'll take care of that next. And I work that around. Now this here is the trickiest part. You're going to need to go over right here, this last loop, and then go back under again. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to pin it in place for now, and then I'm going to tuck this end right here. See if you can see that a little bit better. I'm going to tuck that end underneath where we started, so it meets up with the beginning, right under there, and we can't see it. Okay, and then I might need to adjust it a little bit, but for now, there you can see. So right now my bottom loop is a little bit bigger than all the others, so what I would do is go around and make it a little smaller. I'd have to take out some of the pins and adjust everything. Doesn't take very long. And that way, now my last loop that was a little small will be the right size. And that just gives a little bit more length. I like to leave the yarn tails on there because we're going to use those to sew up those two cord ends that are hiding under here. So there you can see how by adjusting it just that little bit, now all the loops are fairly even. Next we're going to start where that triangle was over here, if you remember. So we're going to start there. I'm going to back it up a little bit. And we're going to start the cord underneath, right where that triangle is. Again, all those extra loops there we are going to hide and tuck away. No one will see them. And now we're going to follow the white circle path. Now I know that because this is a Celtic knot, it's going to go over, under, over, under. This is the last piece, so always the last piece of a Celtic knot goes over, under. So I just put it under Now I'm going to go over this section, so that means I'm going to go under this one, and I can peek at the diagram and see the white path goes under the green. And I will continue that all the way around. If you ever done any weaving as a kid, maybe you made some of those pot holders where you went over, under. That's all this is, just in a different pattern. So the next loop, same thing, under, over, and the last loop, under, and then over, and then tuck it under where we started, and there you have it. You can see the knot is woven, so you have the over, under, square-like pattern in the middle with the 4 loops around the outside, and then the nice accent of the lighter green circle. And as I take this off, I'm going to pin it, the crossings like this. I'm going to take the pins out and now pin them across, and that way everything will stay in place. And I can take it off this weaving board, flip it over, and use the tapestry needles to sew it all together. So I flip it over, and on the back I'm going to use those yarn tails and sew together the ends of the cord where all the ends meet, and then make sure it's all nice and even. And I'll even sew down some of these other crossings, making sure it doesn't show on the front. So I hope you enjoyed making this project. All you need to do is visit the link in the description below to see how to crochet this edging along the outside so that you have a nice finished Celtic Knot Coaster. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out my other videos on how to make various Celtic knot projects.